what I mean, Kaylee. Yeah, if somebody was violent, I'd be concerned as well. The only violent we know is Augustus Gloop from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But what I'm saying is violence just isn't needed. Those of you in the chat there, and please, this is no disrespect to you, you're entitled to your opinion, but I am going to say this. The Labour government has just come in, only just started. I remember the mess that Labour inherited last time they came into power. And Maggie Thatcher lost. And was that before? I can't remember now. Anyway, they're all as bad as each other. But the thing is, you have to balance it out. Labour's in for a while, Conservatives in for a while. It's how it works. If people can't be bothered to vote, then there's never going to be change if other people can't be bothered to vote. Now, I'm neither. I'm not Labour, I'm not Conservative. But at the same time, if the country can't be bothered to come out and vote, then, yeah. I'm not Reform either, no. I didn't, no. But at the end of the day, what's happening right now in places like Sunderland isn't right. I actually voted Lib Dem, okay? I don't like all the Lib Dem policies, but I've voted Lib Dem for the last few elections. Out of the three parties, I think they're the best of the options we've got. But at the end of the day, that's not what I'm talking about at the moment. What I'm talking about are the violence that's going on at the moment. Jake says, what's your opinion on the Southport accident? Well, first of all, Jake, it wasn't an accident. As far as I'm concerned, it was an act of terror. In whatever way you want to call it, the incident in Southport, because I don't want to discuss that, because it's not what I'm talking about tonight, but my opinion on it is that it was not an accident, it was an act of terror. I'm not hating on anybody, Capo. Not at all. As I said a few minutes ago, I don't care what somebody's race, religion, creed, colour. I don't care what it is. We're all humans. We're all the same inside. Men are men, women are women. Full stop. And I think the rioting is wrong. I very, very much doubt that very many people in here are going to remember this. But who is old enough to remember the poll tax riots back at the late 80s, early 90s? Who is old enough to remember the poll tax riots in London? Is anybody else here old enough to remember the poll tax riots? Amanda, you remember, cool. I was actually in London, completely by accident, with school trip. And our school trip, we had to be escorted across Trafalgar Square out of a building to get to safety because of the poll tax riots that had started outside while we were in a building. I don't remember what we were in London for, but I remember that. And that was scary as a teenager. But the country, the world, hasn't learnt anything. Anything. Looking further back in history, it's almost as if the world has forgotten the Second World War at the moment. It's almost as if a lot of people have forgotten what happened in the Second World War. And I'm not going to break it down, because if you need me to break it down, then you're not thinking for yourself. Actually, Jessie, I agree with you there. People ignore so much and think I'm not affected, so it doesn't matter. That is very true, Jessie. I'm going to pin that. That is a very true statement. Trubster, I'm allowed to have my opinion. This isn't me talking about political stuff. This is me talking about a situation that's going on right now. And if I want to talk about it, I talk about it. I'm not going into great detail on politics. Oh, that makes me laugh. Big Chris says, Second World War, a war the British Army didn't need to get involved. Actually, Big Chris, if you read your history books, you'll know that the Nazi Germany and Hitler was trying to invade England, invade the UK. So what, if we'd all just sat back and let Hitler invade, you'd be happy now? The world would be completely different. We'd all be living under a Nazi regime. I think, Chris, you need to read up on some more history books. But I'm talking about what's happening right now in the UK today, tonight. The violence is not needed. It's not. And anybody who thinks violence is the answer, nah, it's just not needed. By the way, I'm looking down because I've got my phone on a couple of other lives at the moment. I'm just kind of looking and kind of half watching what's going on. Kelly, violence isn't the answer. The government will listen through peaceful protest. Very loud protest, no problem. But it needs to be peaceful. Since when did two wrongs make a right? Since when does throwing rocks, bricks, concrete blocks at policemen, since when does that actually solve anything? Right. Have I got any mods on at the moment? Hi, Hugo. I can see you're here. Pumpkin, you're here. Brilliant. Right. Mods, can you get rid of a few of these idiots in the comments? You can use your common sense. Block them. I think you both got mod power, blocking powers. I'm going to open the boxes, and we will allow peaceful. Okay, Hugo, I'll give them to you now. Hold on. I'm adding blocking powers for you as I speak. There you go, Hugo, you can now. There you go. So I'm going to open the boxes. You must be over 18 Stay polite, stay on subject, otherwise you'll get kicked out the box. And let's have a friendly talk about this. Your opinions are your opinions. We're not going to argue with each other's opinions, but you know what? I want other people to be able to have a say. If you're 17, if you're under 18, or if I think you're under 18, you'll be kicked straight out the box. Well, you're certainly not coming in the box because you've been incredibly rude. Right, if anybody wants to come in the box, please request, because the box is currently empty. So discussion topic was what we've just been talking about. Kirsty, I get it all the time. Don't worry, hun. If you're over 18, you can come in the box. Under 18, I will kick you out. So please introduce yourself. Hello, Adriana. Are you over 18?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, good evening to you. Callum, are you over 18?
Alright, Voldemort. Fat bitch.
Grow up. Sorry about that. Adriana, what do you want to say, Adriana?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that...
Yeah, you're under 18, aren't you?
No, actually, I'm so sorry. I do not mean to interrupt anything.
Okay, you sounded like you were laughing at me.
Well, I wasn't. I was just trying to breathe. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. What did you want to have a say in?
I just had a question about you liking supermodels. Do you like supermodels?
Grow up. Alright, we're carrying on, guys. If you don't want to have serious discussion, take a hike. Go into somebody else's live. Megan, are you over 18, Megan? Let's hope you are.
I'm talking into it.
Are you over 18, Megan? No, you're not. Pitter's got her own stuff going on, Spider. That's why Pitter's not here at the moment. No, we're sticking to the subject we're sticking to, guys. We're talking about what's going on in the UK. And I'm throwing the boxes open to let other people have a say, let's have a serious conversation. So discussion topic was what we've just been talking about. Kirsty, I get it all the time. Don't worry, hun. If you're over 18, you can come in the box. Under 18, I will kick you out. So please introduce yourself. Hello, Adriana. Are you over 18?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, good evening to you. Callum, are you over 18?
Alright, Voldemort. Fat bitch.
Grow up. Sorry about that. Adriana,
problem.
what do you want to say, Adriana?
Well, I just wanted to let you know that
Yeah, you're under 18, aren't you?
no, I'm not actually. I'm so sorry. I do not mean to interrupt anything.
Okay, you sounded like you were laughing at me.
Well, I wasn't. I was just trying to breathe. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. What did you want to have a say in?
I just had a question about you liking supermodels. Do you like supermodels?
Grow up. Right, we're carrying on, guys. If you don't want to have serious discussion, take a hike. Go into somebody else's live. Megan, are you over 18, Megan? Let's hope you are.
I'm talking into it.
Are you over 18, Megan? No, you're not. Pitter's got her own stuff going on, Spider. That's why Pitter's not here at the moment. No, we're sticking to the subject we're sticking to, guys. We're talking about what's going on in the UK. And I'm throwing the boxes open to let other people have a say, let's have a serious conversation. Is what's going to happen in the next couple of days. I'm horrified because this is just wrong. The violence. I'm not talking about peaceful protest. I'm talking about the violence. Yeah, I'm going to pin that comment because that's exactly what I was saying earlier. I can understand the protest, but it's getting taken over by thugs, says Lou Brass. Yes, I totally agree with you. That is exactly what's happening. People are going to these protests, balaclavaed up to their tops of their heads before the protests even start. People going with the intent of violence. Is there one in Milton Keynes tomorrow? I'm aware that I saw High Wycombe on a list in somebody else's live earlier on. Didn't know that there was one in Milton Keynes. Right, there's some more people in the boxes. Again, I'm going to bring people in. If you're under 18, I'm kicking you straight out. If you're horrible, you're getting kicked straight out. Respect everybody's opinion. LC, I'll let you in first. Hello, LC. Can you confirm you're over 18, please?
Hello, I am over 18.
Thank you. Bear with me while I bring other people in. Right, Don84 again, if you can confirm you're over 18 for me. I think you are. I've seen you often enough in my live.
Yes, I'm over 18.
I thought you were. Hello, I know I've never spoken to you before, but I know that you've been in my live a lot. Right, bear with me while I bring other people in, please. Right, Rob West, can you confirm you're over 18, please?
Yeah.
Brilliant, thank you. Oh, who's gone? Okay, somebody dropped. It's your girl, Chloe. I think you're over 18 as well. Are you over 18, Chloe?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a feeling this may be a troll or somebody, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. So, Porker, are you over 18?
Hello?
Yeah. Are you going to be sensible?
Dave.
Grow up. And people wonder why I'm nervous about opening my boxes. Hello. I'm not sure what your name is because you just got characters. Hello. Are you over 18? Yeah, no. Right, fine. Okay, last person, Frank. See if Frank's over 18. If not, we'll start the discussion. Frank, are you there? Are you there, Frank? I don't think he's there. Okay. Right, we'll start off with the four of us, guys, and then we'll go from there. Good evening. Keep it friendly, keep it nice and respectful. Who would like to go first? Anybody?
I don't mind.
Go for it.
I'm really nervous. I've never spoken on TikTok before.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah, I just think people are using what happened to them poor babies to just generate their hate and incite kind of violence, and they're just using it as an excuse, sadly. Yeah, it's disgusting. There's no need for it.
What do other people think to that?
I think that it should be happening.
Yeah.
What do you think's gonna? What will it achieve?
If you had a child, Jen, someone ate your child, you was in the room with that person, would you sit there and talk to them, or would you use violence?
I would 100% use violence on the perpetrator that hurt my child.
And they're rating our kids. It's Britain. They're rating
Absolutely.
British
I
kids.
would not go out and start harming innocent people that did nothing to my child.
And that's
they're not harming innocent people.
They are harming innocent people. What?
Who?
The boy who done it was Christian. The first thing that people done was went out and attacked a mosque. I mean, how stupid are you?
Mosque is not Christian.
No, that's what I'm trying to say to you.
What he's saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Say to you.
What he's saying.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
But that's got nothing to do with what happened to them poor
I was just about to
babies.
say, Rob, that's got absolutely nothing to do with what happened the other day.
But people are just so quick to go, right, oh, that's happened. I'm going to go and smash up my town.
Like you just said, you'd use violence. You
Against
won't sit
the
there and have a discussion. You won't sit there and have a discussion with them, so they're not going to go do a peaceful protest.
Of course I'd use violence against the perpetrator, not against innocent people that had nothing to do with the situation.
You know, that's just the way the world is, I'm afraid.
Well, the
So,
world's
Rob, can I ask
stupid.
you a question? Rob, can I ask you a question? The police officers who are in Sunderland tonight doing their job, who...
Yeah, that's fair enough. That shouldn't be happening. But the police officers stick up for it's the government.
It is the government. That's exactly right. The government caused all of this and then sit back and watch all of us fight and argue amongst ourselves.
Yeah,
when
but
it
no one's going to listen to a peaceful protest.
The government isn't the ones who are causing the actual rioting.
The government want to divide and conquer. People who are divided are easier to rule. They don't want all of us getting on together and living peacefully. They want us all to be fighting amongst each other because it takes a distraction away from them.
True. I don't
Honestly,
think that's true. I
see it all the time.
Okay, looking at it slightly differently, if you've got a government who are, I'm not talking about Labour, I'm not talking about Conservative, I'm talking about a government, okay? Forget who is in government at the moment, okay? If you've got a government who are at the very beginning of their tenure and that government hasn't yet had a chance to do things because things have to be undone.
Yeah.
Things have to be improved on and worked on. You can't literally come into government, and I'm not talking about the current government, I'm talking about any government, past or future, okay? Past or future. they have to be given a chance to look at what the current situation is and make changes. Because in the law, they can't literally just bring in a new law overnight. It doesn't work that way. And
I totally get what you're saying, but I just feel I'm not talking about I'm not even talking about governments I'm just talking about the general. There's no money to be made if we're all living peacefully and in harmony. There's money to be made when we're all at war with each other, and they don't want us living peacefully, unfortunately.
I think they do. I think they'd rather the world was peaceful.
Really? What? Who would we sell arms in that to if we're all living peacefully?
Need them. That's the point. We could have other
exactly, but they don't. We're just pawns. We are pawns in their big game of chess.
If there were other economies that were much better, I actually completely disagree. And like I said, we can all have our own opinions, and I'm not knocking your opinion, Don. So
no, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And I'm not knocking yours. I've just you see so much online, and I really try and not. I really don't get involved in this kind of conversation. I know that's hard to believe because I'm talking about it now.
I don't normally either. So for once, I'm out of my comfort zone for once.
Yes, and I do understand why people take your stance, because that's your government. You're meant to be able to trust them. You're meant to be able to think that they want the best for us. But ultimately, I mean, it just frustrates me so much, because I just feel we're all just left wing, right wing. They're all part of the same corrupt bird, and
I'm going to say this
play it into their hands.
I'm going to say this to you. Would I vote Tories? No. Would I vote Labour? No.
I wouldn't vote any of them. I think they're all part of the same corrupt, money-grabbing, greedy beeps.
Can I ask you a question then, Don?
Of course.
If there was a XYZ party, okay? I'm calling it the XYZ party because I want to make something up, okay? I'm just literally making it up.
Yeah.
XYZ party came along and suddenly wanted to make changes. What would encourage the people who didn't vote, who didn't bother voting because they said, oh, it's all rigged, things like that? What would bring those people out to make them vote? Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And I think for starters would be some truth from the people leading, some confidence in if they're actually going to do what they've said they're going to do. Maybe then, yes, people would be more inclined to go, do you know what, I'm going to get up and vote. But I think people have just come to the point where they just think no matter who they vote for, it's the same shit show, unfortunately. I mean, I think people are genuinely giving up, and I do believe that is the agenda. I might, obviously, this is my opinion, but I just feel there's so much, you look, the transgender, there's always something that's put out there by the media to divide us. You've got the transgender debate, you've got the race debate, you've got the this debate, and it's always something, the Ukraine debate. Why can't we all just switch our phones off, switch the bloody news off, and live happily?
Okay.
I mean, I think it's perpetrated by the media, I believe.
Okay, I'm just going to pause for 1 second and welcome Jenny into the conversation.
Hi.
Can you just confirm you're over 18 for me, Jenny?
Yeah, I'm over 18.
Thank you. Apologies for asking, it's just I have that rule.
Yeah, no worries.
Do you want to add something, Jenny?
I think that all these ridiculous views on the government are spread by the media, and people just throwing these things left, right and centre about what they think, and it's just all brainwashing. I think it all needs to stop. It's the media.
Yeah.
If you have a look on TikTok, the amount of unbelievably stupid things that people are saying, and you can see on the comments, people just agreeing with it because it's something different or because it's something... Do you know what I
totally agree with you with that one, Jenny, and I'm not knocking your opinion, Don.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm not knocking your opinion, but I do definitely agree with you there, Jenny, that I've heard some ridiculous things in the last 48 hours. I've been quietly watching other lives over the last couple of evenings, and last night I was sat in a live that got so ridiculous. Some of the ideas that people were coming up with were worthy of a really bad Jeffrey Archer novel or something like that. Sorry, I actually love Jeffrey Archer books, but you understand what I mean. Well, I hope you understand what I mean. They were ridiculous comments of blaming government and blaming this opinion and that opinion, and I'm trying not to actually say any of the things that I heard, because quite honestly I don't think they should be repeated.
Yeah, it's all stupid.
Yes.
But it's all stupid because the opinion differs from yours, so you call it stupid. It's like,
if you have a really good think about it, about what they're actually saying.
I do have a really good. This is my problem. I overthink everything, and I'm seeing. I feel the mainstream media just incite and that shit stir between all of us.
Okay,
because they want this civil unrest.
I will use one example of one theory I heard last night, and this really, really got my. I really totally disagree with this, so I'm wanting to say that I totally disagree with this. But one of the stories that I heard, which I totally disagree with, were people saying that actually the UK government is controlled by Saudi Arabian government, and I think that's absolute nonsense. But people are believing it on here. People are believing it because people are talking about it, and they're trying to sound convincing. Now,
but the thing is, we will never know. People like us, we are never going to know what is really going on up there.
No, I agree. That's one thing I agree on.
So we could be ruled by flipping Mars for all we know. We're not going to know. We only know what they tell us, and what they're notorious for lying and not being truthful.
So why doesn't the country elect a government that they trust?
Because there's only ever two front runners. There's never anyone.
Okay.
Because that's what we're told. We're Labour and Conservative. They're pitted against each other at every time.
Okay.
There's no one else in the running, or else people probably would.
There are other parties, and I'm certainly not making any suggestions here, but what I'm saying is, if somebody else stood up and said, let's form another party, what's to stop somebody forming?
I think there's a lot to stop. Unfortunately, I think there's a lot to stop that happening. If you look at people in power, it's not people like us, Annette. It's people that have gone through private schooling. It's people that it's not people like us who maybe want to do the right thing for the people. Then people in power, they don't know how hard we have it sometimes.
No, they don't.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no one. If there was a party out there that could genuinely be for the people, then I'd be all for that. But
yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why don't people get together and form a party for the people?
So I don't think that would be allowed.
I don't think they could do that.
They can't stop anybody forming an independent.
Yeah, but they tell you that, Annette. They like to think that they lock into this false sense of having us being a democracy, but we're not really. When you think about it, there's only Labour and Conservative. No one else gets here.
If you look at the seats, how many seats they've got?
That's because everybody who voted for them.
Because they know no one else is going to win. It's a vicious cycle.
The number of people who didn't turn out and vote could have turned it completely on its head. But I am wanting to steer this back. Mm-hmm. I am also aware we're now talking politics, and I don't like talking about politics.
We're talking about riots.
But I originally started this talking about the violence that's going on tonight. Mm-hmm. Violence on the streets and the protests, the so-called peaceful protests.
Yeah.
How wrong I feel they are. Now, I'm going to bring a couple more people in who, again, if they're under 18, if any of my mods who are here think they're under 18, please come out. But I'm going to bring them in with the benefit of the doubt that I hope they're over 18. Save Our Kids, are you over 18? Are you over 18?
Yes.
Okay, Apollo, are you over 18?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. So, as I was saying, talking about this from the point of view of the protests that are happening tonight and talking about happening over the weekend, and how violence doesn't work. Violence doesn't work. Why is the need for violence there?
There is no need for violence, but being peaceful and trying to protest peacefully isn't going to help either, because they're already not listening to us.
If you see the amount of peaceful protesting and you've seen where it's got us in previous years, if I'm honest, I understand why they're choosing violence now, because it seems like they've got no other corner to turn. At this moment, the amount of peaceful protests, I just literally haven't changed anything. I can see why people are starting to grey a little bit.
I don't think peaceful protests and I don't think violent protests are going to change anything, because ultimately the powers that be are going to do what they want to do.
I'm not saying that I agree with it, but I'm just saying, like, I understand where they're coming from.
Well, yeah, I understand that there's people are angry, of course, but you know, we're all angry. We all, like, I have children. It's just unimaginable what's happened. But would I go out and start attacking my local shops after that happened to my child? Probably not.
That's one thing I don't agree with.
Exactly. Now, I want to throw something else in there. Save Our Kids or Apollo, do you want to say anything about the violence that's happened tonight?
Yeah, obviously the violence is not very nice, but obviously it's quite a hard topic to talk about, because obviously not everyone knows the full story. Like, obviously social media, you're just getting little bits of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So no one really knows the full story apart from the parents.
Yeah.
And I do 100% think it's sad, but obviously peaceful protest, obviously, as Jenny has already said, it doesn't work. We tried it after the London riots, and look what happened. It was the government spent £2 million after that. We spoke peacefully after it, and still nothing happened.
What is? I'm just genuinely asking. So these riots are going on, and people are, violence, and people are understandably angry. What would be the desired outcome from these protests? Like, I don't understand why people think this is going to help.
I think they just want the government to just actually knuckle down on, recognise what's happening, knuckle down on the laws that apparently are there, and to stop all this crime happening.
It's brand new. The government needs time to get into government and get changes. Like I was saying earlier, forget that it's the Labour government. I'm talking about any government needs time to actually get the ball rolling in a different way when it takes over from another government.
But then knife crime's been happening. But then knife
can change overnight.
But the knife crime's been happening for years, and still people are losing their lives innocently. Yeah. And they still haven't done anything about it.
Yeah. But give them time, and they will. Or
How many kids are going to be killed in that time, though? That's why people are getting angry.
I agree with you, Jenny. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. But at the same time, Rome wasn't built in a day. The changes are not going to go through. Legal changes are not going to go through in 24 hours.
And unfortunately, them poor babies that were what happened the other day, that wasn't really a result of immigrants coming over on a boat. That wasn't. It wasn't. What, am I wrong? Was it someone that come over on a boat that done that? No. It's knife crime, yes, but I don't get where the attacking a mosque has come from when it was a Christian boy that done it. Like, I don't get the.
Okay, can I throw a question in? And this is a genuine question. I really don't know. Is he a? Now, I want to word this carefully. Is he a Christian, as in a church-going family Christian person, or is he just English or British? Sorry, because he was born in Wales.
His family were or are
from Rwanda.
A church-going Rwandan family.
Okay, that doesn't make
church-going Rwandan. Oh well, he's part of that family. It doesn't make him
It
not
doesn't
either.
make him a Christian.
Well, to
No,
be
but
honest,
if
it's
his
not
family-
come out that he is or isn't, whether he attended church or not. But what I'm saying is, people just saw his name, assumed he's Muslim, and went and started attacking Muslim people in
And
mosques.
that is wrong.
Like, where's the
That is
sense?
very wrong. But
Where's the sense in
also,
that?
I'm just saying, as my opinion, because I don't think, unless he actually said he's a Christian, if you understand what I mean, I don't think a religion should come into it. But what I will say is, definitely not a Muslim. So why are they attacking mosques?
Because
It's hidden
because
racism, I
people-
think. It's hidden racism.
Yeah, because
It's
people
hidden racism. I agree.
because
They're trying to
people
blame
like
it on
to
another
always put
problem
race
so they don't have
there.
to admit that they're racist.
Exactly. People are quick to use something and go, "Oh, right, wicked. Now we can go out and start attacking the people we hate."
No,
It's
they
just-
can't. Exactly.
No, they can't. But people use it. The families of these poor babies have actually come out and said, "Can this all stop, please?" It's not helping it's not going to bring them babies back, and it's not helping their families.
And I actually don't think, I'm sorry, Don, was it you earlier who said there's a lot of people doing this just for the excuse?
Yes, 100%. And you see it all the time.
Yeah. People are just jumping on an excuse to do the violence they're doing. I mean, I'm watching a scene right now on my phone, on somebody else's live, on another account. And there's literally people with balaclavas going up to the police line and waving union flags in the faces of the police. But these people are balaclavaed up, they've got big black hoodies on, and they're these are young men antagonising the police. You know, trying to rile the police up. Now,
Yeah.
they're not there to protest peacefully, they're there because they want violence to happen.
Yeah, exactly. They're aggressive. Where was the violence in the riots for the 3 ladies that were murdered by the crossbow killer? That was disgusting. Did anyone riot for that?
No one speculated on his race or anything like that.
Exactly. No one. Because his picture was released straight away, so it was evident what race he was.
Right,
all
save our
because-
kids. You haven't said anything. Do you want to say something? You're in here, but you haven't said anything.
Oh.
Oh, they've gone.
People always want people pick and choose what they want to riot about, and I don't
Yes.
think it's fair because innocent people are losing their lives for what? Because they get the pleasure out of it.
What makes me laugh, well, not laugh because it's not a laughing matter, but I had a family member that voted for Brexit because she didn't want the immigrants, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward a few years and she's got Ukrainians living in her house, which just, obviously, it's like, what, because they're white? Is that why they were accepted as immigrants and refugees, because they were white refugees?
Little Miss Wilder, welcome to the live. Can I just confirm you're over 18, please?
I am, yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, Don, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I do apologise.
No, that's fine. That's all right. I think people are just selective about who they want to feel passion for and who they want to care about.
Difference. Please don't get me wrong. I understand your opinion. I do think there is a difference between immigrants and refugees. A lot of people
of course
came
there
over
is,
from Ukraine were escaping the war in Ukraine on the Russian borders and were from that area. We as the UK didn't take in very many Ukrainian refugees as were displaced around the whole of Europe. We didn't take in as many as other countries did. And I think
the point is, they were taken in happily. They were taken in happily, which is brilliant.
Refugees as opposed to illegal immigrants.
But the illegal immigrants, they're kind of fleeing war-torn countries as well.
Yes, but they're coming in illegally. But at the same time, not everything can be blamed on immigrants. It's not immigrants I'm looking at the moment, standing in the streets of Sunderland, antagonising the police and throwing bricks at the police.
You've got to listen.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, I'm from Leeds, and I went down on Herald when that bus got set on fire and everything. And I'm going to say something. I did not spot one person in that crowd, one white person. Sorry, were all Romanians.
Okay.
Setting the
Of
bus on
course they were
fire and
Romanian.
everything.
It's because it was a Romanian family that the
Yeah.
services come and took their children away.
And
So of
all
course
that-
it's going to be Romanian.
And all their community has obviously helped them commit all them crimes and everything what happened with the bus and the police car and everything like that.
Are you talking about what happened in Southport on, was it Tuesday?
No, I'm talking about Leeds a couple of weeks ago, and I went
Okay,
down and
I apologise. I genuinely don't know anything about that. It passed me by, and I apologise.
Which
No,
again, that probably didn't achieve anything either. That was just mindless violence.
That's what I mean. It wasn't broadcast on the national news. Nothing of what's happening in the last 24, 48 hours of these riots. None of it's making the TV as far as I'm aware.
No, because they only tell us what they want us to know.
And I do think that's wrong. I do think that's wrong.
Can I just say as well that
Go
the
for it.
mainstream media have not said anything about all the positive things that have come from the riots in Southport. The fact that security services have offered their lads, well, the lads have come forward and said that they will volunteer themselves free of charge, no pay, to sort of be on the doors for children's clubs so that they can have these clubs and schools and classes run.
That's fantastic. I haven't heard anything like that.
The
Of
window
course they're going to
companies-
accept that because it's free of charge. If people are going to say, well, can you pay me to be on the doors, the government are going to say no.
The window companies who offered the glass replacement for free for the mosques. You know, we did see on the TV all the builders from the housing estate people who came and rebuilt the walls for free. You know, there's so many good things and so many positive things. All that violence. I understand the anger. I really do, because I'm a parent and I'm a parent of a near 17-year-old. So I see it from two different sides. Also, you know, the parent of a child at that age, but also as a parent of someone, of a child who was at that age once. And I understand that anger, you know, and all parents and mothers and fathers and any member of the public is going to feel anger for what's happened. But that violence in Southport, the people were not even from Southport. That does not reflect Southport as a community. And they put so much on what happened, and they've shied away from the good things to come. And that's what annoys me, because that doesn't reflect Southport as a community, what happened. And it's really sad.
It's like what's happening in Sunderland tonight. These people who have obviously travelled to Sunderland, dressed up looking for trouble, when they're not there for trouble. They're there to protest peacefully, yet the people who've gone geared up for trouble are the ones who are causing all the violence tonight.
But they're going looking for trouble because protesting peacefully isn't working.
But they're not
But I
actually
don't think
there
the
to
trouble's
protest.
gonna work
They're
either.
there balaclavaed up, deliberately looking for trouble. You can tell. You can just tell by looking at them. Some of the
think
stuff I've
it's
seen
mainly-
tonight.
If you look at the age of most of them people, they were clearly teenagers.
Yeah.
And you know, teenagers are very boisterous. They're always running in on all them like sort of violent activities for a bit of fun. That's why they'll all just be going down. They'll be local to that area and just joining in. Or some of them maybe seeing what's going on and seeing like the mates in one of them crowds and just following on what they're doing. I don't think they understand the full severity of what's going on. They're just jumping in.
It was advertised to come messed up, because if you can't be identified, there's no prosecution. So they're only going to cause trouble. They're not going there to make a point. The family, not any respect, it's not going to change anything, and it's so disrespectful to the families who are grieving. It's not going to help anything. It's not going to change anything. Those families need support, not violence. Like I said before, I understand the anger. We are all angry about what's happened, but that is not going to solve anything. Nor is it going to help the families, nor is it going to help the prosecution of this lad, because he's already going to be prosecuted before he's had a trial, if that makes sense.
If the first thing that enters your mind when something as terrible as that happens, if the first thing that enters your mind is to go and start a riot, then there's something wrong. When something like that happens, why don't we all come together and do something nice for the families of the victims? Why don't we pull together and do kindness? Why is the first port of call, I know, let's go and smash up mosques and terrorise the town? Like, it's just so frustrating. It's going to get you nowhere. It's violence upon violence. Whoever, they're no better than people committing other violent acts, in my opinion. Why not all come together and do something nice?
Yeah, the way
Fiona, can I ask you if you're over 18?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Okay, would you like to come in and have an add to conversation?
Yeah, I just think it's so disrespectful that they're just going for like the mosques when he wasn't even Muslim, he was a Christian. They're trashing shops and stuff of people that weren't even anything to do with it. They're just taking out their anger on other people when all their time should be put on like supporting the families and supporting the community rather than ruining it. It just doesn't make sense.
But what makes even less sense to me is the fact that this is spreading across the whole country and it's spreading in violence, that so many people are just using it as an excuse to commit violence.
That's because we've had years of the media, you know, fueling the fire when it comes to immigrants and refugees. And then when something like this happens, people are so on the edge with it. Something like this will happen and then that's it. It just goes absolutely mental because it's been built up for so many years. But surely there's got to be a better way. And I still to this day believe a nation are easier to rule when they are divided. And I think divide and conquer, and we're playing right into their hands. They don't want us to stick together. They don't want us to live peacefully. There's no money to be made that way if we're all living peacefully. There's no, you know, and that's what I believe. And I don't see my mind changing on that, to be honest.
I think also with this last couple of years, well, last 4 or 5 years, we've had COVID, we've had cost of living crisis, we've had everything. This has obviously played with everyone's patience with this country. Like, if you see on TikTok, oh, I'm ready to leave, I'm ready to move abroad and all this stuff. I think it's like a domino effect. One thing happens and people's like, oh, let me jump on bandwagon. I got a problem with this country too.
When people say they're ready to move abroad because they're fleeing a country that they don't feel safe in anymore. So they're going to
you're safer here.
But they're becoming refugees in another country if they
exactly.
Yeah, they all become one.
Same situation.
It's crazy.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And when you look back at COVID as well, that was another thing that had us all divided, arguing with family members over a flipping jab, like people you've been brought up with. They divided us right into our households. Our family members fell out with each other. It's divide and conquer all the way through the last few years. There's always something to divide our opinions.
I respect your opinion, Don. Like I said again, you're entitled to your opinion. I do disagree with your opinion. I don't think they're trying to divide and conquer. I do think the government, any government, not our current government, any government, I've said it and I will repeat myself, things take time to happen. Our current government is new. And our current government have to have time to implement things. And they've got so many things they need to implement. They need so many different things that need to change. And they do need to change. I totally agree with you.
But they won't.
Which one do they start with first?
No, they won't change. And they're not trying to divide and conquer us. They are dividing and conquering us. There's no two ways about it. We are divided. We can't agree on the bloody
I don't disagree with you, but I don't think the government are doing it deliberately.
I think it's the media who are to blame.
There's always an agenda in it. Nothing is done by these people without an agenda, unfortunately. We are pawns in their game of chess, and ultimately it's people like us at the bottom, shall we say, that didn't go to private school, that don't have, you know, all kinds of money behind us. We are the ones that will suffer. It's actually more of a class war than anything else going on. It's keep the rich rich and the poor poor. That's the agenda, and that's what will happen. They want all of us fighting with each other at the bottom.
So if you elaborate on what you mean by divide, you mean like in like class or like
I just don't believe they want us to be like the people. We are the people. They don't want us to be peaceful and united.
In what way do they want us to divide, though? Like, do you think...
In every way. There's always something to divide us. There's, transgender debate that's dividing people. There was the COVID. Do we get the vaccine? Do we not? There's race. There's just... They keep us busy at the bottom, fighting and arguing with each other. And then, what goes on at the top remains to be seen. We're all too busy writing with, our neighbours to know what's going on.
Do you think that if there was like I said earlier, a different party that people could get behind, and people could give us a different way of doing things, if people don't like the way something is done, then it is within our rights as the people who live here. I
think I said it earlier.
Our democratic right to insist on change via elections. That is what...
And I 100% get what you're saying, but I think I said it earlier. We are lulled into a false sense of us being, having this democracy, but it's not a democracy because people like you and I can't run for MP.
Well, we can. That's the point. We can.
Okay, we can, but would we get anywhere? No, because there would be barriers against us from,
You actually can. If you stand for local election, then you stand for council election, then you stand for MP, or you can go straight for being an MP.
Yeah, no, I get you can. That was probably the wrong wording that I used,
okay. I thought you literally meant you can't, but you can.
Oh, right, no. You probably, I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying even if you did, how far am I going to get? Little old me, do you know what I mean? They're not going to let me anywhere near it.
I agree with you. One person can't make a difference on their own, but actually one person can make a difference.
It's just a very uphill battle when you're against what you're against.
Okay, I'm going to start using a few silly phrases, and forgive me, please humour me, guys. A journey starts with the first step, and we can make change in our local community. We can make change here on TikTok by talking to each other and being nice to people. People who live in Sunderland can go out tomorrow and smile at each other of different races and say, "Hi, can I buy you a coffee?" If you understand what I mean. What I'm saying is we can all start making changes in our personal communities.
I know in my community it's full of fighting. I couldn't go out there and say, "Oh, hi and all this." I couldn't do that in this community because my community is looked at funny and they'd walk away. That's
I'm sorry,
how we
Jenny,
are.
I don't know where you live, so yeah. I don't know if you're actually in one of those towns. I'm sorry, I don't know.
No, I think if you went up to someone and said that in my community, I think you'd just get looked as a bit of a weirdo. Like,
people aren't used to it, are they? They're not used to that.
They're not used to it.
Maybe that's what's needed. Maybe what's needed.
I think it's what needed, but I think if we all done that, the world would be a better place. But I still don't think
that's what I'm saying.
us anywhere near being an MP, unfortunately.
But what I'm saying is you've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, but then if everyone got on, if everyone tried to get on with everyone, it wouldn't work. Like,
I agree.
You could go, like, say you go down to South London, like Croydon, Brixton, like, if you go offer someone a cup of tea and take them to a cafe, they would laugh in your face. It just doesn't work. Not everyone wants to be friendly with everyone, and this is where the problem starts.
I don't think everyone wants to be friendly with everyone. I just think you don't have to be friends with everyone, but just don't harm anyone.
Yeah.
Why do we have to harm each other? I'm not saying let's go out and be best friends with everyone in the world, but I don't want to be best friends with everyone. I'm not, I don't want to be best friends with everyone. I don't really like people near me, to be honest, but I'm just saying I wouldn't go out and harm anyone else.
No, I do agree with you there, but like it wouldn't, like, the world wouldn't work if there wasn't something going on, because it's everywhere. It's on TV, it's on social media. Like, no matter where you go, you just can't get away from it. And
Exactly,
this is just the world that we live in.
But the media also focuses on all the negative points, not the positives. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The thing is,
Yeah, I
you
agree
get
with that.
some positives, but the problem
not
is
many.
the negatives at the moment are louder than the positives.
The negatives will always outweigh the positives,
always
because
been
going
louder.
back to my original point, they don't want us being positive.
I disagree with that. I do remember times, now maybe it's because I'm slightly older than some of you, I think. I don't want to be ageist, so I'm not. I just feel like I might be a tiny bit older than some of you. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I do remember times when there have been very positive things. And I'm thinking to myself, well, why can't we hold on to some positivity for a change? The answer is because there is so much negative going on at the moment. It
outweighs it.
The positive.
And it's, everyone loves gossip. Everyone loves to chat about other people's things.
That's just a
Everyone
human
loves
being.
to
We want
hate.
to focus
I'm
on the
sorry,
negatives.
but people love a reason to get all riled up and all. Like, it's just too much energy for me. I can't do that.
Go back to what the whole original conversation is about, and that's obviously majority Southport. Everybody needs to find a way to try and support Southport, and there is just hundreds of people affected by what's happened, especially the children.
I'm talking this evening about what's happening in Sunderland tonight. I'm talking about the riots that are planned for tomorrow. Are they going to end up the same as Sunderland tonight?
I saw a list on here earlier, actually.
Yeah.
There's probably about 10 or
Please
11.
don't say whose live it was on. You probably were in the same live as I saw it. Please don't
I won't say any names, but I saw a good 10 or 11 cities where they're planning. I think it was Hull. I'm sure I saw Hull on there.
I saw Hull, yeah.
Did you see Hull?
Not far from me.
Milton Keynes.
Yeah.
They're actually planning these riots now, and they feel justified in doing it because of what's happened.
Exactly. They're feeding the riots are feeding riots, and that's wrong.
It's just not.
It is a domino effect, but
it's feeding onto the next.
Yeah, it's wrong.
The people organising the riots, what are they hoping to achieve from it? Because it's not going to change anything. It just makes a minority look like a group of thugs.
Exactly.
It's not going to, like I said before, I understand people's anger, everybody's angry, but it's not going to achieve anything.
It's not getting us anywhere. We need to be focusing on the families rather than attacking random cities.
I'm just going to welcome in Mother of Dragons, X and Andy. Can you all just confirm you're over 18, please?
Yes.
Yes. I wish I was 18, but I'm
X, are you
41.
over 18, please?
Yes.
No, X.
Sorry.
That's all right. X, I'm going to have to kick you out if you can't confirm. I've got other people wanting. Right, I've kicked X out and I'll bring one more person in, then we carry on. Bella, I'll bring Bella in. Again, Bella, can you just confirm you're over 18, please?
I certainly am.
Thank
I'm
you very
definitely
much.
over 18.
Welcome to the three of you. Please feel free to join in.
Yes,
Hi, guys.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Hi.
My partner is a policeman. I live in South Wales, and I can't tell you how petrified I am at the fact that he might have to get involved in something like this. I mean,
oh God,
I can only imagine.
Like, it is honestly petrifying, and they're not just saying that this is, there's different parts of the police. I don't know if people are aware, but there's different parts of the police. There's riot police, there's response police, there are hub police. There's so many different parts of it, and now they're saying that everybody has to get involved into the riots because of everything that's going on.
No.
It is petrifying as a partner living, staying at home and not knowing where he is from one minute to the next.
You don't have to be a part of the riot. Absolutely do not have to be a part of it.
No, this is it, you know, and it's just like you sit at home and you think, oh my God, is he actually going to come home tonight? Is he going to be okay?
You'll be fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the thing,
it's
it's just
spreading
so much more pain to so many people that it doesn't have to reach.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know, but I just don't
That's what I
understand
was
it.
saying earlier, Mother of Dragons. I was talking earlier about what I've been watching on the Sunderland video tonight.
Yeah.
And the horrendous things I saw of somebody literally picking up a concrete block he was holding it like this.
Yeah.
And he was waving it towards police officers. What? He didn't actually throw it. I don't think he could throw it. But he was waving it towards them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why is that necessary? And then the rocks that were being hurled. Why is that necessary? Everything was being thrown towards the police.
I think
You know what, right? It's not just this. It's like everyday occurrence, like they're getting assaulted. You know, he comes home, I've had to go to A&E today because I've had a punch in the head, or because this or the other. You know, it's just not right. All they're doing is a job to protect the vulnerable, to protect us as vulnerable people. You know, and I just don't get the mindset. I really don't.
It is shocking. It's absolutely
what
shocking.
it is as well. I think what it is as well is people. I'm not going to say all police officers don't do their job right, but a lot of police officers do not stick to the rules that they are given. And I think this is where this whole stuff with the police is happening, because like innocent people are getting arrested for things they haven't done. And then
what you've got to remember is with these riots, right, what they have is facial recognition. So what you don't see is that these police officers probably go to a van and there's facial recognition. So when they come out and it looks like they're arresting somebody for no reason, it's not because of no reason. It's because they've either had intelligence that they are going to do something, or there's intelligence out there that they should be arrested.
Or
So
they
it looks
may
like
be being arrested for something they've already done.
Yeah.
They've been hidden in society, and they're being arrested because there's an arrest warrant out.
Yes,
I think
exactly.
I think you have to remember sometimes, though, that the only time that young people ever meet a police officer is if themselves or one of their parents are being arrested. I mean, I live in an area of very, very high deprivation, also in South Wales, and I've worked as a youth worker and a community development worker for years. And there's no interaction with the police for young people unless somebody they know is being arrested. So when they do actually get to communicate with the police, it's only in a bad circumstance. So there's never a good point for them.
But you've also got to realise that the police are not the law. They are not the law. They are just there. They're just they're like the pawns. They're like the pawns on a chessboard. No, listen, they're completely tied because no, but they're pawns. Literally, they are the pawns.
Yes,
they are not
the police's hands are completely tied because our laws are archaic.
Absolutely.
First responders.
It is. It's the CPS.
And they're literally powerless. And you've got to see that, you know, when all of this is going on, they are powerless. They have the law. They can be convicted as well for doing things, you know, and it's pretty sad. It's horrible, isn't it? Because when I was young, when I was young, we respected the law, you know, and I'm in my 50s. We didn't do anything because we'd have got a clapper on the ear roll if we... But that's not what's going on now.
What I was about to say.
Yeah, go on. Sorry, go on,
like you, I'm now 50. I remember our local PC, and I said this story the other day. I remember our local PC who used to ride around on a bicycle, and he knew every single child in a town of over 5,000 people. Every single child, he knew which school you went to, and he knew your name.
That's how it was.
And if you gave him any disrespect, you were in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And I remember that.
That's back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, and me too.
So a lot of this is self-fulfilling prophecy for these children, because a lot of them are classed as juvenile delinquents.
Yeah.
You know, they might never have done anything, but everybody gets put into the same pile.
A lot of what's going on with the lack of respect for the police
Absolutely.
goes back to the Tory cuts of Maggie Thatcher in the 80s.
Definitely. Yeah,
I think it's also peer pressure.
Cut the police, which then meant the young people of the late 80s, younger than me.
No, I would.
But I totally agree with what Donna was saying earlier.
Children now disrespect the police because
I wouldn't say late 80s. I would say sort of late 90s. I certainly think that children, but we always have delinquents, especially. I'm from a working class background, and you did. It was like you against them, even the teachers. I wasn't like that. I had total fear of, you know.
Oh my God,
yeah, and I think that it happened sort of like more 90s than it did 80s.
You know what? But then they came to a time where you were told.
Happened, but I do think it's down to government. I do believe that, and I do believe that. I do believe that they're bringing in, and we don't have any structure. We need structure. Need some discipline. There's a lot of apathy. There's a lot of apathy within the British culture, and it has to stop. We
are completely controlled by the media, and throughout history, especially from a psychological point of view. The government put out to us exactly what they want to put out to us.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can look, like I've done quite a lot of psychology, and it's like with marketing, or wherever they want you to know, you know. Wherever they don't. But as human beings, if we don't know something and there's a gap in the story in our minds, then we make it up ourselves. So that's exactly what's happened with this riot, because it wasn't put out who the person was, it wasn't put out clearly what was going on. We can't cope with that. There's a little gap there that we can't cope with. So we will fill those gaps with ourselves.
We can't.
This comes back to what we said about being scared of when, you know, back in the day when you were scared to get, you know, a slap if you disrespected the police, or, you know. What we're trying to teach our children nowadays, and I work with, I'm an outreach worker, I work with the youth in my area.
I love young people, by the way. I absolutely love
We don't want our young people to act a certain way because they are scared of someone else. We want them to act a certain way because
we can understand why they do.
For them to do. We want them to act a certain way because inside they're making the innate choice to make the right choice, not because they're scared of getting a slap from their mum.
No, but years ago that wasn't the case. You were brought up to fear the police.
I do have a funny story. You say that, but I got a slap from my mum and dad every now and then. I hate it. And I'm in my early 50s. I've never hit my children, and
I've never hit my children.
My daughter's 14. I never laid my hand, and I never would. I would never want to use. She is entitled. She's entitled to feel as she does.
Yeah.
But I can talk to her, but I would never lay my hand.
What I'm saying is years ago, I've heard people in my local community say the policeman will be coming to get you if you carry on like that. You know, we've always led by fear.
Well, it's all about children feeling like. It's all about children feel like they're being. Children need to have a community. You think of our age, we had a community. Children don't now. It's so messed up now. They don't have a community. No, listen. They don't have a community.
They don't have a community.
And we need to be their community.
We've been divided. They've divided and conquered.
Can I please put a question in, please?
Can I just, before you say it, I need to go, so thank you very much for the discussion. I've really enjoyed speaking to everyone.
Come on, girl.
I'll make way for somebody else, so thank you. Night, everyone.
No, beautiful. Go on.
Right, so let me throw a question in, talking about what you were just saying about parents disciplining their children, as Luna proves on my shoulder.
Yeah.
So I remember, I'm again just turned 50. So again, like you, I remember being disciplined by not only parents but grandparents as well.
Yeah, I was.
We all of our generation. So I'm just finding this thing that means too. Our generation was we knew respect, disrespect, and we knew the difference and what disrespect would bring. Now, this might be a controversial question, okay?
It probably is.
I'm not defending or I'm not going either way on the question myself.
No worries.
But do you think there is a degree of political correctness gone too far?
Yes,
in
I do.
Saying that.
Well, it's called human rights.
Absolutely.
It's when the Human Rights Act came in.
Absolutely.
No, 100%. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying whether people agree or disagree with smacking or not smacking.
No,
it's nothing to do with that.
It is political correctness gone too far, and children are there to learn from us. They learn from us and respect, right? And I don't believe, right? And in my opinion. Yeah, but listen to me. In my opinion, right, to abuse children by laying your hands on them or whatever, respect. You teach children respect by teaching them respect and talking to them, expressing it to them. Yeah. And that's how I see it.
To be non-violent by hitting them. Do you see
I agree. How are you going to get the message into their head by doing it to them themselves?
You have to respect children because... And you have to respect them, and they learn how to respect you. I'm respecting you, and this is how you respect me. It's hard. It isn't easy by any respect, and you think, oh, I'm gonna hit out at them, and you can't.
But this is where the issues coming in.
You've got to the point where you have hit your child. Control.
Don't lay your hands.
Ask everybody to be quiet for a minute.
Yes, okay, darling.
The Observer, providing you with the latest TikTok drama from across the UK.